Ever feel like you're just playing a role? Like you're an actor in your own life story? Well, today we're going to dig into that. We're going to explore the hidden architecture of who you really are, and maybe, just maybe, find our way back to the person we're all meant to be. Okay, let's think about this for a second. All the little choices you made today, what you wore, that thing you said in a meeting, what you decided to click on, they all felt like your choices, right? Of course they did. But what if they weren't? What if you're actually more of a passenger in your own life than the one behind the wheel? Yeah, I know, that sounds pretty out there. But that radical idea is exactly what we're diving into. The idea that our reality isn't just there. It's built, it's constructed, a lot of the time, by invisible forces from our past. And to help us figure this out, we're going to lean on some heavy hitters. The brilliant Carl Jung, the insightful Dr. Gabor Mate, and even the master of the human soul, Fyodor Dostoevsky. It's time to figure out how to start pulling our own strings. So where do we even start with this hidden architecture? Well, it begins with the very first layer we all build, the face we show to the world. The legendary psychologist Carl Jung had a name for this mask, the persona. And look, it's not a bad thing. In fact, it's an absolutely essential survival tool. I mean, think about it. When you're a kid, you learn real fast what gets you a pat on the head and what gets you a timeout. So what do? We build this public-facing version of ourselves, a character we play to fit in, to function, to feel like we belong. But, and this is a huge but that Jung was all about, the danger isn't in having the mask. The danger is when you forget you're even wearing one. It's when you start to believe that this polished, put-together version of you is the real you. That's when we get stuck on this hamster wheel, chasing approval instead of finding what actually makes us feel whole. And you know where that road leads? Straight to feeling hollow and empty. Okay, so that's the mask on the outside. Now let's peel that back and look at what's running the show on the inside, the internal blueprint that's calling the shots. This is such a great way to think about it. The persona, that's your user interface, right? It's the face you present to everyone. But your past, man, that's the operating system. It's the invisible code running in the background, shaping every single one of your reactions before you're even aware of it. And this is where Dr. Gabor Mate just flips the script completely. For him, trauma isn't what happened to you. No, trauma is what happened inside of you because of it. It's the wound you're left with. It's that disconnection from your true self that you had to create just to survive. And believe me, your nervous system has a perfect memory, even when your conscious mind tries to forget. And this is how it gets us. Those brilliant little survival tricks we learned as kids, they become the very cages we live in as adults. Think about it. The kid who learns that staying quiet keeps them safe, they grow up into an adult who literally can't speak up for what they want or need. The kid who only ever got praise for getting an A+, they become an adult who thinks their entire value as a human being is based on their next accomplishment. These aren't character flaws, you guys. They're just echoes. Now, this whole idea of an inner conflict, this wasn't just something for psychologists to talk about in a quiet office. Oh no. For the novelist Fyodor Dostoevsky, this was everything. This was the whole drama of human existence, and he was not afraid to go into the darkest, deepest corners of our hearts to explore it. See, Dostoevsky just threw out this simple idea that good guys are over here and bad guys are over there. For him, the real war, the real battlefield between good and evil, is raging inside every single one of us. We're all paradoxes, walking contradictions. We're capable of incredible love and kindness, and also, yeah, some pretty shocking cruelty. And here's his most challenging idea, and it's a tough one to swallow. Dostoevsky believed that when things are easy, when we're comfortable, we can keep all our illusions about ourselves alive. But it's in those moments of real pain, when everything falls apart and our masks get ripped off, that's when we see what we're really made of. That's when our true foundations are exposed. In his world, suffering is a brutal but incredibly honest teacher. Okay, so if we're all these walking battlefields, constantly reacting based on a past we never even chose, where's the hope? Where do we find our real power? Answering that question brings us to maybe the single most important idea in this entire explainer. I mean, this is the real question, right? It's the one that keeps us up at night. If so much of who we are is just programming and conflict, how on earth do we find a path that actually feels like ours? Well, Carl Jung had an answer. And it's hidden in the one place we've been taught our whole lives never to look. The answer is what Jung called the shadow. Just picture it like a suitcase you've been carrying your whole life. And inside that suitcase, you've stuffed everything you were ever told was bad or unacceptable about yourself. Your anger, your messy desires, your weird, wild creativity. You just shoved it all in there and locked it. But here's the thing. Just because you're ignoring the suitcase doesn't mean it went away. It just means it's running your life from the shadows, tripping you up when you least expect it. And this completely changes how we think about our dark side. We're taught to see it as some evil monster we have to defeat. But Jung, he saw it as a treasure chest. It's full of raw, powerful life energy. All those hidden talents, those secret passions, the very core of who you authentically are, it's not gone. It's just locked away in your shadow, waiting for you to be brave enough to look inside. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? You don't become whole by just thinking happy thoughts and imagining you're a being of pure light. No way. Real growth, real enlightenment, comes from having the guts to finally make the darkness conscious, to turn on the lights and see what's really been in the basement all along. That's the path. Okay, so what does this all mean for us right now? How do we take all these huge ideas and actually do something with them? What does the path forward even look like? Well, the journey they all point to is one of integration. It's a step-by-step process. First, you have to acknowledge the mask you're wearing. Then, you have to get curious about your wounds and how they're still driving you. You have to accept that inner conflict is just part of being human. And then, the final, biggest step, you have to turn around and face your shadow, not as something to fight, but as a long-lost part of you that's ready to come home. And please hear this. This is so important. The goal is not perfection. It never was. The goal is wholeness. It's being able to hold all of it, the light and the dark, your strengths and your scars, the parts of you you're proud of and the parts you're not. Real freedom, real agency, comes when you can finally hold both sides of yourself without needing one to cancel out the other. Look, your past might have written the first few chapters of your story. That's true for all of us. But you get to pick up the pen and write the rest. The authentic life you're looking for, it isn't something you have to go out and find. It's been inside you this whole time, waiting. So the only real question left is, who will you choose to become?